Hi everyone, welcome back to our classes. It's Divya here with class 7 physics. Here are the answer keys to your revision test. Define the term volume of an object. Answer: the space occupied by an object is called volume. Next question. Describe the method in steps to find area of an irregular lamina using a graph paper. Answer: method to find the area of an irregular lamina using graph paper. First, place the lamina over a graph paper and draw its boundary line on the graph paper with a pencil. Then, remove the lamina and count and note the number of complete squares as well as the number of squares more than half within the boundary line. Only squares less than half are left while counting. The area of lamina is equal to the sum of area of complete squares and the area of squares more than half. Now let n be the total number of complete and more than half or half squares within the boundary of lamina. Since area of one big square is 1 centimeter into 1 centimeter, which is equal to 1 centimeter square, so the area of lamina will be nx. Next question. Define the term density of a substance. Answer: the density of a substance is defined as the mass of a unit volume of that substance. And your last question. Write the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius. Answer: the density of water at 4 degrees Celsius is 1 gram per centimeter cube or 1000 kilogram per meter cube. Hope you all have found out your mistakes by yourself and corrected it and learned all those portions which you have already gone wrong. Now from today we are going to start with our new chapter, chapter 2, motion. Today here we are going to discuss a new topic, motion. Everyone, almost majority of us are very interested in traveling, right? So let's relate something with our travels. What is motion? Now, in this session, we are going to discuss what is motion, what is the relation between rest and motion, are they related to each other, what is uniform and non uniform motion. Just a small topic. To begin with, let's see what is motion. See, when we are saying that we are in motion, when suppose we are walking, we say we are in motion. That is, as the time is passing by, we are changing our position, right? So that is what is simply motion. An object is said to be in motion if it changes its position with respect to its surroundings in a given time. Now, the second point given here is always motion is observed and measured with a point of reference. Now, here the point of reference we are going to take is time. That is, with the passage of time, when the position is changing, we call it as a motion. Now, we will think only living things are able to move. No, non-living things are also able to move provided we have to give some external forces to them. Then also they will change if they change their position, we can see that they are in motion. For example, when you move a table, if the table is moving, we can say that table is in motion. Now, if this is about motion, then what will be rest? The same definition, only a little bit change. If the object is having a change in position continuously with time, we say it is in motion. The examples are given here. Now let's suppose the time is running on, the object is not having any change in its position, then automatically the object is in rest. Suppose you are sitting in a table or like a book on a table or a bench fixed in a park. Time and tide waits for no man. Time will go on running. But these examples, they don't have any change in their position with time. So they are said to be rest. So even though basically rest and motion are having such differences between them, we can see that both are relative terms or one is related with another. For example, a body may seem to be at rest for someone, For the same object, for another point of view, it can be at motion also. Let's see some examples for that. See, a moving train, a person is sitting at a train, two persons are sitting in the train, and let it be passing through a platform. That is the given situation. Now let's see. The person sitting and moving along with the person, suppose these two persons are sitting. To the one person, the other person is not moving at all. He is sitting in the chair. That is, he is at rest. Right? Now for the same persons, for both the persons, third person who is going to see from the platform, they are moving with the train. Right? So inside the train, with one another, they are at rest. But for a third person, the same situation, looking from outside of a moving train, he feels that for him, these two persons are moving along with the train. That is, rest and motion are related with each other. So you can take so many examples like that. Right? Now next important topic is uniform and non-uniform motion. So from the word itself you can get an idea. What do you mean by uniform and what do you mean by non-uniform? Let's see what it is. Now for uniform motion, you consider this figure. See, it is starting from the point O. Till A, it is taking 2 seconds. It is traveling 4 meter. Now from A to B, again in the next 2 seconds, it is traveling 4 meter. From B to C, next 2 seconds, again it is traveling the same distance. The same from C to D also. So from this, what you can tell that is, the body is traveling equal distances in equal intervals of time. Right? That is, from 0 to 4, time is 2 seconds. 4 to 8, time is 2 seconds. 4 to 8 again, 4 meter, like that from C to D also. So which means that uniform motion means a body is said to be in uniform motion if it travels equal distances in equal intervals of time. Now let's see what is non-uniform motion. Similar example, consider the same situation. An object is traveling from 0 to A, traveling back. The same car is traveling back. When it is traveling back, see the time difference from 0 to A. In 2 seconds, it is traveling 2 meter. Now from A to B, in the next 2 seconds, it has traveled 8 minus 2, 6 meter. Here it is going to be 2 meter. Now from B to C, in the next 2 seconds, again 2 meter. Now from C to D, in next 2 seconds, it is traveling 6 meter. So from here itself, you cannot see any uniformity here. The time intervals are going to be the same, but see the distances. First it is 2 meter, next 2 seconds it is 6 meter, next 2 seconds it is 2 meter again, and in the last 2 seconds it is going to be 6 meter. So that is what is non-uniform motion. A body is said to be in non-uniform motion, traveling unequal distances in equal intervals of time. Now when you consider uniform motion and non-uniform motion, the time interval will remain the same, but for uniform motion, distance will also be the same. For non-uniform motion, distance will be different. Right? Hope it is clear for you. Now let's have a comparison between the two. Uniform motion, equal distances in equal intervals of time. Variable or non-uniform motion, unequal distances in equal intervals of time. And here, in case of a uniform motion, the direction remains the same. But for non-uniform motion, it is not necessary that the direction should remain the same. It can change. Now some examples are also given here. Body moving with a constant speed. If the speed is constant, uniform will be motion in each second. Now, circular motion is an example of non-uniform motion. So, why in a circular motion, when you're learning maths, you're learning that for a circle at each and every point, if you draw a tangent, the tangent shows the direction. That is, at each point, if you draw a tangent, the direction is going to change. That is why it is given circular motion as an example of non-uniform motion. Clear? So this is all about motion, rest, relative and terms between rest and motion, uniform and non-uniform motion. Now coming to today's homework, read your textbook properly, and as usual you have to solve the question answers at backside also. Backside questions you will be solving question answer part, question number 1, 2, 3, 17 and 18. You will be solving questions 1, 2, 3, question number 17 and 18. With this, we are winding up today's small topic on motion. Take care, stay safe. Thank you.